E.J. Whitten was near the end of his 321-game career when he called on his renowned gamesmanship and umpire Don Jolly to distract the young Peter McKenna.
I'd kicked 5 goals up to just before half-time, and Teddy said, "Joel, get over here." And Jolly was a great jokester too, and he said, "What are you calling me over here for?" He said, "Look, just give me a bit of a breather." He said, "I'm stuffed chasing this mongrel," he said.
Physically, it was pretty hard. The South Australians jumped into us, but all in all, I thought it was a pretty poor match.
You took a couple of nasty knocks there today, Ron.
Yes, Ted, you weren't protecting me too well. Where were you at those times? I was a bit worried.
Oh, I was looking after the other fellas.
Whitten, Barassi, Dyer and their mates have shared our living rooms since the advent of television. We've lived with them longer than we have any statesman or captain of industry. We've gone through their changes, often known them more intimately than our own families, and we've endured their brightest and darkest hours. We've worshipped the strengths and forgiven the weaknesses of each generation of heroes, and we consider ourselves blessed to live through this era of players who run hard, tackle fiercely and show remarkable skill. Their game is ours, an unruly sport where the ball isn't round, where the laws aren't rigid, where the players aren't padded, and where anything can happen, and usually does. And where even the strictest coaches yearn for the odd ratbag to keep themselves sane.
You know, they say you've got to have a character in your team. You do. You've got to have. You cannot win a grand. Well, you won't even get to a grand final without a lot of character and steel in the side. But also you've got to have characters, I think.
The hardest part of telling the stories of football's characters is convincing people they're true. Who in 50 years will believe the larrikin tales of Edward James Whitten? Who'll accept that a little balding man and this stick-like figure lasted longer than anyone else, or that there were wizards who had the ball on a string? How shall we explain that men whose records show so few games deserve to be hailed as gods? And as sport becomes even more businesslike in the next century, what will they think of characters who made us laugh at their misfortune? Some misadventures have already passed into mythology, like the tall but true tale told by Brownlow medalist Neil Roberts of an old-time Tasmanian coach named Nunky Ayres, whose oratory turned inevitable defeat into unthinkable victory.
Half-time, he knew his team could do it, so he went to the boot stutter and he got a pair of pliers, and he pulled out a tooth in front of everybody and made it bleed and let the blood run down here and put the pliers in the tooth